What's going on, Jerome's? So, Minnesota Vikings future franchise quarterback, highest drafted QB in team history, JJ McCarthy. Unfortunateness, undergoing the full meniscus repair surgery, out 4 to 6 months at least, likely putting him out for the 2024 season, and frankly, should be out for the entire 2024 season. But, of course, Mike Florio. So, noted Vikings fan, national media jabroni haircut, and also stir of the poop, right? And also not a thermos. That's right. But, Florio, he of the, did you know that the Vikings tried to trade for Malik Neighbors and tried to trade Justin Jefferson? So, long story longer. So McCarthy obviously should be shut down for the season. It just makes sense. It's a long-term play. Why would you rush him back in 2024? But, of course, Florio can't help himself. All right, so put out a post today. Could JJ McCarthy return in 2024? And he went down the timing of the fact that the Vikings haven't placed McCarthy on injured reserve as of yet. Now, if they put him on IR before 53-man cutdowns, he's done for the season. He cannot return. If he's placed on IR after initial 53-man rosters are set, he could potentially return after a minimum of 4 weeks. Now, obviously, this would be a later in the season return, but Nah. Anyways, this is what he wrote. Vikings quarterback JJ McCarthy will, by all accounts, miss the season due to a full repair of a torn meniscus suffered apparently at some point during Saturday's preseason opener cap. I feel like it was something that was lingering. Anyways, but the Vikings have yet to place him on injured reserve, which would indeed end his rookie season. If they wait to do it until after the 53-man rosters are set, he could potentially return later in the year. I just said that. It's a fair question at this point. A meniscus repair typically isn't like a torn ACL or ruptured Achilles. So I've been told that fans and the media have treated this meniscus repair like JJ lost his leg in the Civil War. He took a cannonball to the leg. He took a cannonball, and then his leg got removed in a dirty field hospital outside of Antietam. That's what I was told. Unless McCarthy's situation is such that there's no way he could recover before the end of the regular season, or the Vikings have made the strategic decision not to use him this year at all, even if he could be medically cleared, it's possible the Vikings will keep the door ajar without making it a thing. Well, it would become a thing, right? But, of course, we're saying shut it down. Now, would have been nice to see McCarthy potentially start this season as a rookie at full health, yes. Having that option would have been great. Plus, him getting the sparse practice reps during the season, him playing out the rest of the preseason would have been wonderful. But rushing him back in this spot doesn't make sense at all. So, deal breaker. You're done. So, a couple reasons here. Why shut it down? Because this is what's best for McCarthy long term. Again, this isn't about this season. This isn't like McCarthy is an older starting quarterback and the team has all pushed all their chips into the middle of the season. No, this is one of the youngest teams in the league. Future is very bright, centered around JJ McCarthy. This isn't a spot where getting a trim or just trying to come back ASAP. This isn't like prime Tom Brady or late prime Tom Brady just trying to get back onto the field. This ain't it. Like, this is less about this season and more about 5, 10, 15 years from now. Also, 4 months is mid-November, so potentially, the timeline on a full meniscus repair is 4 to 6 months. 4 months, so the low end, the extreme low end would be about week 15 against the Bears, mid-December. So, you could potentially trot McCarthy out with little to no practice. Talk about practice as a rookie quarterback who hasn't taken a significant snap in 4 months, and then just rolling him out there for the final stanza of the season. That doesn't make sense. It makes zero sense at all. Because, hey, if the season's kaput, it is what it is. Or if Darnold's rolling, what are you even doing here? Also, zero upside for the 2024 return. Because guess what? Also, focus on full rehab versus rushing. Because JJ McCarthy is a super competitive dude, and he wants to get out there, help his team in any way possible. And that he'd just be like a little puppy dog, champing at the bit, pushing himself more in rehab, not resting, and just trying to get back onto the field, and not maybe pushing up that timeline and that rehab. You got to save him from himself. Because if he does that, I mean, maybe those sutures come loose. Like maybe the rehab isn't fully complete. Maybe he's pushing himself out there and setting himself up for future problems instead of focusing on a full rehab. Because 4 to 6 months, he'll be back in the midst of the offseason workout program and for OTAs and mandatory minicamp. And that's what's really important here versus just coming back for a couple games. And like we said, like if he did make it back for the final month of the season and the Vikings trot him out there, 0 to no practice reps coming off of the injury, a rushed injury, by the way. So, nah, I ain't buying it. And I know that Adrian Peterson came back from a very similar full repair during the middle of the season. But again, that was a veteran on a team in 2016 that was all in. Like this is not. And he definitely was redlining the thing. This wasn't a situation where you have a future franchise quarterback who should focus on the long-term healing of the meniscus so that it doesn't become an issue down the line. All right, also, it would be a huge distraction. It really would be because Slinging Sam Darnold, like it's his show right now. But if the door is open for JJ to return in mid-December, all of a sudden every single play is going to be analyzed under a microscope, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, JJ's coming, blah 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 blah. But if you shut him down for the season, Darnold is the guy. You're all in on him for this year, and then just go from there. Because also, the whole thing about public pressure, media pressure, that could get to McCarthy as well, and also speed up his rehab, and that might be detrimental to him. So, it doesn't make any sense at all. Because are you worried about 4 potentially meaningless games at the end of the season, or are you worried about 4 years from now? If you're worried about the next 4 years, the next 5 years, the next 14 years, right? So that's where we're currently at. So it would make sense just to shut him down and really just save him from himself, because like we said, he's a super tough, competitive kid, and I would be worried that if there's even a glimmer of hope of him getting back on the field this year, that he would redline that thing and push it to the max, and it just wouldn't be good for his long-term outcome and stability. But, like we said, it's still frustrating. It certainly is. I understand it, and maybe one of the 12 stages of grief is cope, but no. Shut JJ McCarthy down. We'll see you in 2025, and that's the way that it should be. But your thoughts are thoughts. Vikings need to shut JJ McCarthy down. Don't even leave the door open for a 2024 return. Let us know your thoughts. Our thoughts, comment section below. You guys are the best to do. Skull Production Value.